Hello and welcome to a playthrough of my version of Solo based upon original content created by 72 Pringle. This level is based upon the Vandor Convex train heist in the Solo Star Wars movie, and I've included a link to 72 Pringle's YouTube channel where he has a set of tutorials on how to construct this level. So right in front of our starting point here there's a trigger area, and I connected it to a text displayer that asked the question, would you like to go on an adventure? That's a safe stop for me. If I exit out of that without accepting, it prevents the train from starting on the conveyance track up there or around the mountainside. Once I do accept, the train starts and we can begin the adventure. I did that as a safeguard because I learned the hard way, and here comes the train now, that once the train starts, if you make any edits and then save and exit, there's no way to reset the train and resequence it properly for its path along the track there. So what I had to do is I had to completely delete the train because it was just one big blob of blocks and components. So I had to delete the whole thing, rebuild it, and then reattach it in the proper sequence to the path piece by piece. So I learned that lesson the hard way. One of the things I love most about this level is it's just not fighting, but there's a number of tasks that have to be completed to advance through the game, and one of the tasks is locating and finding these detonators, 4 in all. That will be to free our pilot who's been captured and being held prisoner here at the Vandor base camp by the Empire. So we need to find those and to get it to bust them out. I also like the use of these kiln enemy generators that generate our enemy waves here, because you're not only having to deal with the enemy attacking you and fighting with them, but you also need to concentrate on trying to destroy the enemy generator itself. Otherwise, the enemies just continue to generate. Actually, a good way to level up a character, particularly on extreme difficulty where you get a lot of orange sparks, because you can allow the enemies just to continue to generate until you're ready to destroy the kiln enemy generator itself. So that's what I'm working on here, is trying to deal with the enemies as well as destroy the generator. As for what I've been working on, I'm still continuing to work on designing and developing Jabba's sail barge, based on using basic blocks in the past with similar techniques that I demonstrated on how I created the desert skiff, so that we can have a battle game for using Sarlacc pit. I have grand plans for it, to be able to blow it up, reset in place so you can actually repeat it and blow it up multiple times in the same game. So here's the first generator is defeated. So we can move along here. There's a couple of closed doorways here, and right now it's going to tell us to go back to the drawing board because we haven't completed all the tasks we need to do in order to access those rooms. This doorway here, I added this myself. It says the same message, back to the drawing board, and it's connected to this tech panel over here to the right, which is also currently deactivated. So there's a number of tasks that we need to complete before we can access either of those areas. So when we come to the upper platform here, same kiln enemy generator, so we can deal with the enemies while we also attempt to destroy the generator itself. Once again, what I've been working on with my design for Jabba's sail barge, I pretty much know how to, that's actually one of my favorite skills there that Han has, is the carbonite, a little bit of sweet revenge there, using carbonite on enemies instead of being used on him. I think that's a skill. But anyway, I've been working on the logic for how to destroy Jabba's sail barge, or at least give the illusion that it's being destroyed. And actually the logic for it's not the hard part. The hard part is using basic blocks to come up with an acceptable design. So I've been working on it and reworking on it. It's been a bit slow going, particularly now that I'm back to work full time. So a little bit, actually a lot less limited time to spend on this versus last year when I found myself at home with plenty of time off from work. But rest assured, I'm working on it, and I'm looking forward to finally being able to get some videos out as I progress, make progress on sail barge. A battle level for Solid Creek. So we just got to keep working on this. There we go. So that's the second generator destroyed. And we'll just finish up. We'll mop up here and take out the rest of our enemies. Now we can continue with the level and the tour. So this target here operates this cable car system. It goes up to the Eagle's Nest, and that's a brilliant thing about this level. I really like it. It not only combines elements from the Solo movie with the Convex train heist, but he also included elements from Clint Eastwood's 1968 World War II movie, Where Eagles Dare, and with the Eagle's Nest, as well as a fight sequence on the cable car system. So notice this doorway this time didn't tell us back to the drawing board, and the terminal is active, so we can hack this. This becomes active once those two enemy waves are defeated on the lower and upper platform. So we maybe we stole a code cylinder from one of the Imperial officers we defeated, and that gave us access to that panel. So in here we'll find a second detonator, and we'll find the first of 4 power cells, and we'll need to use these to go around the base camp here to power up the generators. There's one located down here, and we place it on the pressure plate, and it increments a counter up by 1. A really smart thing here is if you remove it, it reduces the counter by 1. So this prevents the player from cheating. You have to explore the level, you have to find the power cells and place them on the pressure plates. You can't just walk around, run around the level and step on the pressure plates to increment the counter by 1, because the the object needs to remain on top of the pressure plate. So that's a good bit of logic right there to force the player to find everything that needs to be found. So now we'll come to explore what I call the backyard of our Vandor base camp here. And we'll find a second power cell here. Jump around the objects in that. And we need to just to continue to power up our generators here. Now I added this ravine here just as added a little bit of interest to the backyard area here. A bit of an obstacle for the player. There's another detonator there. If you fell in, though, there was no way to get back up, so I ended up putting a trigger area connected to a kill switch, so if you do fall in, it kills your character, but at least you respawn back on top, so you can continue with the level. We'll come back around this back corner. There's a little hidden room here, good hiding spot for another power cell. And we'll just continue with powering up our power cells. Well, that's number 3, just one more to go. I do think the layout and design of this level is really spectacular. A lot of visual interest in it. Originally there were a lot of trees, snow-covered trees back here. Pringle had it in his level, and I had it in mine too, but as the level grew and logic was added and creativitoys, particularly it's a very path-heavy level for the train, in that it just didn't have enough memory to keep those visual appealing aspects of the game, so he had to delete the trees in his level, and I ended up having to delete the trees in mine. So there's our final power generator powered up, and there's a train coming around the track in the background. It's, like I said, it's really a very visually stunning level to explore and see as you're playing the game. With the Eagle's Nest up top there. Just a great shot there with the train running in the background. So we have one more detonator to find, and I've got that hidden up here. course, there's lots of good hiding places down here on the Vandor outpost to change it up, and you can move them around. But make sure any edits you make, you do to the game, make sure your train's not running, so you can safely save the game. So we have all 4 detonators. So now when we come over to this doorway, we're going to set our detonators. We're going to have to look out because it's going to blow. And boom, there it goes. Now we can rescue our pilot. There's Wedge. Hello, Wedge. Wedge is feeling a bit lazy today, so we're going to actually have to pick him up and carry him to our ship. That's because he won't follow us. So we can chuck him in here in our cable car. We'll go back up top. Now we should be able to shoot the target. That did it, because we have our 4 power generators powered up. A little bit of a time delay here to get back down onto the cable car, shoot off this wall. Now go around the corner here, you can see how the 2 cable cars are sequenced together. And now the Empire is going to interfere, and they're going to stop the cable car.
Let's go.
And have a cable car fight.
Sorry you did that.
Sometimes a little bit of a glitch in the behavior enemies. They'll jump up to the top of the cable car system, so we have to jump across, climb up. If you do fall and die, you'll respawn back here up on the cable car, so that's a good thing. You can jump up here, and there's our other 2 enemies. They jumped up on top, so we'll take them out. There's also a wind generator down there to prevent the player from running up on the cable car system. Again, it prevents you from cheating, because you do. And it's about the midpoint there, so if you try and run up, it'll blow you off the edge all the way down to the ground. There's another one up here, so you have to climb up the side to stay out of the wind. I call this the Pringle Shuffle. So we'll shuffle our way up to the top here. Up to the top of the Eagle's Nest. And there'll be another target here. And when we shoot at that, we'll start the short little time delay, and our cable cars will start to operate again. There we go. So now we'll be able to collect Wedge, get him up top, and have him pilot our ship for us. Again, he's feeling in a lazy mood, so we'll go ahead and carry him up there. And that's why this stair system exists, because there's no other way to get him up there. We can toss him into the town's person portal, and off he goes. He's flying our ship. Now we can jump back down and wait for him to come around the corner. So we can watch Wedge skillfully maneuver our ship here between the 2 mountain peaks. And as he comes around the corner here, he's going to lower the undercarriage for us. It'll give us a platform to stand on to jump down onto the train when we hijack it. Before I do that, I'm just going to jump down and show a couple other additions that I made. I added a stairwell system here up to the platform. I also added a rope climb over there on the far corner. And that allows the player, if the player wants to explore around the mountaintops and that climb around, you can climb up that rope and get up there. And the stair system here gets you back up to the platform. We'll climb up the side, and we'll go ahead up back to the ship, because I think Wedge is getting impatient and waiting for us. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Time's wasting, the train's coming. Go ahead and jump across, and this sets a checkpoint now, so that if we die, we'll respawn here on this platform underneath the ship. Perfect timing. Here comes the train. I don't know what Wedge was so worried about. couldn't have planned it better. As they say, better lucky than good sometimes. We'll go ahead and jump on down. Now there's red targets between the container cars, the upper and lower container cars. I used 5. I guess I was really a glutton for punishment. And I need to try and shoot these targets out. Now, I'm a pretty bad shot. I rate shooting accuracy by 3 levels by Star Wars standards. There's Stormtrooper accuracy, there's Clone Trooper accuracy, and then there's Mandalorian accuracy. There, I got 1 on the first pass. That's pretty unusual for me. I think I rate somewhere below all 3 of them. And I even got 2 on the first pass. Now enemies will start to spawn snowtroopers up here, so this will add to the annoyance. It's also cool when you shoot out these targets. It adds smoke plumes and flames, and reduces the visibility and just adds the complexity to it. And I just got knocked off.
I don't want to go through that again.
Another thing I did not include in my level was the classic screams when the player dies or when the snowtroopers fall and die. My family was just complaining too much that it was a little bit too annoying. But the stormtroopers, they still make it their grunts and their groans and their screams when they fall. Actually, they jump off and fall down on their own quite often, so plenty of Darwin awards to be given out in this level. Now there's number 3. He's having a good shooting day today. At least when I filmed this, recorded it, and I was having a good shooting day. You can see how the cool special effects just add to the challenge and difficulty. And I got knocked off and I made a beautiful recovery. Climbing back up. And I got knocked off anyway. Down to my death.
I'm ready for anything.
Respawn back up here at the ship. And I missed the train.
Okay.
Skillful
Here we
jumping
go.
there. I do say myself. That's a joke. Alright, a couple more targets to get. I don't know what I was shooting at there, but it certainly wasn't a target.
I have you now.
Get out of here. A couple more Darwin awards there. Good job, Stormtroopers.
Coward.
Been known to win a time or two.
72 Pringle, if you're watching, you're an evil genius. Really like the challenge of this. And not only is it difficult to hit the targets, but with the smoke effects, the fire effects,
Sorry you did that.
the annoyance of the snowtroopers. Another good recovery there. I'm on my way to my death.
Here we go.
Another Darwin award for you.
Here we go.
Still trying to get that target.
I have you now. Here we go.
I can get it one of these times. Nope. Knocked off again. Another good recovery. This time I think I hang on. I don't lose it. There we go. Back up top. Get it this time. Did I get it? I got it. There's number 4. Alright, I'm going to fast forward here because it took me like another 2-3 trips around the track before I got to the last one. That guy jumped right in my way, so I'll take care of him. And get the 5th and final target right here. I'm standing on the very back of the train. There we go. So now we're going to circle around the track again, and the ship will reach a point where it will peel off to the side. So I fast forwarded to that again rather than just watching the train go right around the track, around the mountainside again. At this point here, we'll see the ship. There it goes. It's going to peel off. And we're going to have to make the leap of faith. We're going to have to jump over to that ship. If we don't, we're going to go down with the train. our leap of faith. We made it. And now I have our camera view. I set my camera to a path, so you can see the track being sabotaged here. The ship's coming around the corner with Han standing on it. And here comes our glorious train derailment. Such spectacular carnage. I love this. The special effects of this is awesome. And use of the path tool. Each time it crashes in a unique and different way, which is just brilliant. So unlike the movie where they failed to steal the coaxium, in this level we're going to have success. Our ship's going to stop and we're going to successfully boost the container of coaxium and we're going to make off. Our bosses will be very happy about that. Now that's me trying to hit the exit button to escape the camera view, and I just hit the wrong button. So there we go. Here we can see our debris field. Some snowtroopers that somehow survived the carnage is roaming around. That's because those enemy generators are still functioning. And our mission's complete. That brings us to the end of our level. I'm going to jump off here, and you can see our container of coaxium. We did successfully grab a container there. Survey the wreckage here. Flames and smoke still going on. Still play around and fight enemies if you want. So if you've made it to the end of the video with me, thanks for hanging in with me. I appreciate that.
Better you than me.
Like I said, I'm still working on my Jabba's sail barge, so I hope to have some content for that in the near future. Once again, thanks for joining me, and thank you for watching.